The alarm screamed through every corridor of Kepler Station. Red lights flashed against the metal walls as thousands of beings ran for their lives. Commander Veltara pressed her forearms against the command center's main console, her insect-like eyes scanning the tactical display. What she saw made her heart sink. 47 enemy ships surrounded the station. The Drakmor Empire had come in force, their black warships forming a perfect circle around Kepler Station like hungry wolves. Around cornered prey, their massive dreadnoughts bristled with weapons, while smaller attack ships darted between them like deadly fish. Commander, our defense fleet is gone, reported Lieutenant Keshwa, his crystalline body glowing pale blue with fear.
The fleet is ready.
All 12 ships destroyed in the first wave.
Indeed.
Veltara's antennae twitched. 12 good ships and their crews wiped out in minutes. The Drakmor had struck without warning, appearing from fold space like ghosts. No declaration of war, no demands, just death from the void. What about the distress signal, she asked. Broadcasting on all frequencies, said Communications Officer Yule 10, her amphibious skin glistening with nervous sweat. But the nearest cooperative fleet is 3 weeks away. 3 weeks. They had maybe 3 days before the Drakmor broke through their shields.
Indeed.
Veltara looked around the command center at faces from a dozen different worlds. Zephyrians like herself with their compound eyes and quick minds. The crystal-bodied Vorthak, who could interface directly with computer systems.
Look at the energy
Aquari, who could breathe both air and water. A few others from smaller colonies, all of them were about to die. Incoming transmission, Yulton announced. It's from the Drakmor flagship. The main screen flickered to life. War Admiral Theknosh appeared, his scaled reptilian face cold as space itself. Battle scars crisscrossed his snout, and his yellow eyes held no mercy.
Understood.
Kepler Station, his voice rumbled through the speakers. I am War Admiral Theknosh of the Drakmor 3rd Fleet. You will surrender immediately and evacuate all personnel to the docking bays. Any resistance will result in the complete destruction of your station. Veltara stepped forward. This is Commander Veltara. Kepler Station is a civilian facility under galactic cooperative protection. Your attack violates 17 interstellar treaties. Theknosh laughed, a sound like grinding metal. Treaties are for the weak. You have 72 hours to comply. After that, we will take what we want from your wreckage. The screen went dark. Silence filled the command center. Then Chief Engineer Korthek's crystals chimed softly, breaking the quiet. Commander, they want the quantum crystal mines. Those deposits power half the cooperative's outer colonies. How long can our shields hold? Veltara asked. Korthek's body flashed through several colors as he calculated. At current bombardment levels, perhaps 4 days. But they're not using full power yet. When they do, his light dimmed. 2 days, maybe less. Dr. Silara's webbed hands worked at her medical console. We have 40,000 civilians on this station. Families, children. The evacuation ships can only hold 8,000. The math was simple and terrible. Most of them would die here. Through the station's thick windows, Veltara could see the Drakmor ships positioning themselves. They moved with practiced precision, like they'd done this many times before. Probably because they had. The Drakmor Empire had been expanding for decades, crushing anyone who stood in their way. What about fighting back? Asked Security Chief Noxtar, his massive form casting shadows across the room. His species, the Gornaki, were natural warriors. We have defensive weapons. Against 47 warships? Veltara shook her head. We might damage a few, but they'll reduce us to scrap metal. The first energy blast struck the station's shields. The lights flickered, and everyone felt the vibration through the deck plates. Then another blast, and another. The Drakmor weren't waiting. They'd started their bombardment early. All civilian personnel to inner shelters, Veltara ordered. Emergency protocols in effect. All off-duty security to the civilian levels. Help with the evacuation. Her crew scattered to their tasks. Veltara remained at her post watching the tactical display. The Drakmor ships fired in rotation, never letting the shields rest. Each blast drained their power reserves a little more. She thought about the distress signal racing through space at light speed. By now it had probably reached the nearest cooperative relay station. Officers somewhere were reading reports, making plans, preparing fleets. But space was vast, and help was far away. In the civilian sectors, families huddled in emergency shelters. Parents held their children close while emergency workers tried to maintain calm. Some cried, others prayed to whatever gods their species believed in. A few just stared at the walls, waiting for the end. The Aquari children gathered around Dr. Silara's assistant, listening to old stories about heroes from distant worlds. The Vorthak younglings created small light patterns to comfort each other. Zephyrian parents clicked softly to their larvae, ancient songs that spoke of home and safety. But safety was something Kepler Station no longer offered. In engineering, Korthak worked desperately to boost shield strength. His crystalline fingers danced across control surfaces, redirecting power from non-essential systems. Life support, artificial gravity, even the food processors. Everything went to the shields. They could live without hot meals. They couldn't live without protection. From the vacuum of space, how much longer? Asked his assistant, a young Vorthak named Silvera. Unknown, Korthak replied, his body flashing frustrated orange. The Drakmor use focused plasma cannons. Very efficient, very deadly. Our shields were designed to stop asteroids and solar radiation, not military weapons. Another blast shook the station, stronger this time. The Drakmor were increasing their fire rate. On the command deck, Beltara received reports from across the station. Structural damage on levels 12 and 15. Power grid fluctuations in the mining sector. 3 families trapped in a collapsed corridor. The problems multiplied with each enemy salvo. Commander, Yulton called out. I'm picking up something strange on long-range sensors. What kind of strange? Explosions. Big ones. Way out past the system edge. Could be natural phenomena, or maybe ship drives failing. Beltara barely looked up from her damage reports. Probably debris from other battles. The Drakmor have been busy lately. She didn't notice the pattern in those distant explosions. Didn't recognize the signature of a ship dropping out of fold space at impossible speeds. The sensors were focused on the immediate threat, not whatever might be happening in the empty darkness beyond. The bombardment continued. Hour after hour, the enemy ships fired their weapons. The station's shields flickered with each impact, growing weaker. Emergency teams rushed from crisis to crisis, fighting fires and sealing hull breaches. As the first day ended, Beltara stood in her quarters, looking out at the stars. Somewhere out there, help was coming. Ships with good crews and powerful weapons. But they were so far away, and the Drakmor were right here.
It's unprecedented.
She pressed one hand against the window. The glass was cold, like the space beyond. Like the future that waited for everyone on Kepler Station. In 2 days, maybe less, those shields would fail.
Indeed.
The Drakmor would board the station, taking what they wanted and destroying the rest. Unless something miraculous happened, 40,000 beings would die in the darkness between the stars. Beltara didn't believe in miracles. She believed in duty, in protecting those under her command for as long as possible, even if that wasn't very long at all. Outside, the enemy ships continued their patient work of destruction. And in the deep void beyond, something howled toward them through the night. War Admiral Teknosh stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Bone Crusher, watching Kepler Station burn. Not literally burning. There was no fire in space, but the station's shields flared with each plasma blast like a dying star. Soon, those shields would fail, and he would have another victory to report to the High Command. Status report, he commanded, his clawed hands clasped behind his back. Shields down to 60%, reported his weapons officer. At current rate of fire, they will collapse in 36 hours. Teknosh nodded. Perfect timing. The Drakmor way was slow, methodical destruction. Let the enemy watch death approaching. Let them feel helpless. Fear made them weaker, more likely to surrender valuable information. Any word from their evacuation? Ships? 8 small transports launched. We destroyed them as ordered. Good. Teknosh's yellow eyes glowed with satisfaction. No one escapes. No one carries word of our presence here. The War Admiral had crushed 43 worlds in his career. Space stations, planetary colonies, even entire star systems. All had fallen to his patient tactics. He would bombard them until their defenses cracked, then send in boarding parties to claim whatever resources remained. Kepler Station would be no different. Inside the dying station, Chief Engineer Korthak worked in the deepest levels of the engineering section. His crystalline body pulsed with stress patterns as he rerouted power from system to system. The shield generators were running beyond safe limits, but safe limits didn't matter anymore. Korthak, his assistant Silvera called out. The primary fusion reactor is showing stress fractures. How long before failure? 18 hours, maybe 20. Korthak's body flashed angry red. The reactor was their heart. Without it, the shields would die instantly. and the Drakmor would punch through the hull like paper.
Look at
But
the
if you pushed it too hard, it might explode and take half the station with it. Reduce shield strength by 5%, he ordered.
Feels off.
Route the saved power
The
to
fleet
reactor cooling.
approaches the
It
destination.
bought them time. Not much, but every minute
Prepare for
mattered.
docking procedures.
3 levels up, Dr. Silara moved
The
through
fleet
the
is
medical
ready.
bay like a ghost.
A
Her
tactical
amphibious
advantage.
features were pale with
Indeed.
exhaustion.
We prepare
She'd been
for
working for
departure.
20 hours straight,
Understood.
treating injured civilians and
Engaging the
preparing for the
target
casualties that would come when the shields failed. A young
got them
Zephyrian
outflanked.
larva sat on one of the medical beds,
position.
its tiny arms wrapped
Look at
around
the
a stuffed
energy
animal
readings
from
down
Earth.
there.
The toy was old and worn, a gift from
It's
some human
unprecedented,
trader years ago.
but something
The
feels
child didn't
off.
understand what was happening, only that the adults were
fleet
scared.
approaches the
Will the
destination.
monsters hurt us? The larva asked in its
Prepare
chirping
for
voice.
docking procedures.
Silara knelt beside the bed,
The fleet
her
is
webbed
ready.
hands gentle.
A tactical
The
advantage.
grown-ups won't let that
Indeed.
happen.
We
It
prepare for
was
departure.
a lie. When the
Understood.
Drakmor came, there would be no
Engaging the
protection.
target now.
But the child needed hope, even if hope was
We've got
false.
them outflanked.
In the command center,
Hold
Commander
position.
Veltara studied enemy
Look at
fleet
the energy
positions.
readings down there.
The Drakmor had formed a perfect sphere around the
It's
station,
unprecedented.
their ships
but
spaced
something
precisely
feels
to
off.
prevent any escape. They'd done this
The
before,
fleet approaches
many
the
times.
destination.
Commander, called Lieutenant Keshwa.
Prepare for docking
I've been
procedures.
analyzing their attack patterns. They're following
The
standard
fleet is
siege
ready.
protocol. Systematic
tactical
bombardment
advantage.
until structural collapse.
Indeed. We
How
prepare
standard?
for departure.
Very. The
Understood.
Drakmor Military
Engaging the
Academy
target
probably
now.
teaches this exact formation. Keshwa's crystalline
We've
form
got them
dimmed with worry.
outflanked.
I've seen records of their
Hold
previous
position.
conquests. They
Look at
always
the
use the
energy
same
readings down
tactics.
there.
Veltara's antennae twitched
It's
thoughtfully.
unprecedented.
Always?
But something feels off.
Yes. Same ship positions,
fleet
same
approaches the
firing patterns,
destination.
same timing. They're very
Prepare for docking
predictable.
procedures.
Predictable can be
The
useful,
fleet is ready.
but useful for what?
A tactical
Her
advantage.
tiny remaining defense
Indeed.
force couldn't fight
We
47
prepare for
warships.
departure.
Even if she knew exactly what
Understood.
the enemy would do next,
Engaging the target
knowledge
now.
without power meant nothing. The station
We've got
shuddered
them
under another
outflanked.
barrage. Emergency lights flickered
Hold
in the
position.
corridors as power fluctuations
Look at the
rippled
energy
through the
readings down
electrical
there.
grid. In the civilian shelters, people held
It's
each other tighter.
unprecedented, but something
Communications
feels off.
officer Yulten looked up from her
The
console.
fleet approaches the
Commander,
destination.
those sensor readings from the
Prepare for
system
docking
edge are getting
procedures.
stronger. What kind of readings?
The fleet is ready.
Hard to tell.
A
The
tactical
interference from the
advantage.
bombardment is
Indeed.
scrambling long-range
We
sensors,
prepare for
but it looks like
departure.
fold space
Understood.
distortions, big ones.
Engaging the target now.
Veltara frowned. Fold space was how
We've
ships
got them
traveled faster than light,
outflanked.
creating temporary tunnels
Hold
through higher
position.
dimensions.
Look at the
But the
energy
distortions
readings down
Yulten
there.
was detecting were massive, far larger
It's
than any
unprecedented,
normal ship should
but
produce
something
natural
feels
phenomena.
off.
Maybe.
The
Or
fleet approaches
Yulten
the
hesitated.
destination.
The computer suggests it might be a very large ship
Prepare
or
for
multiple
docking
ships traveling at
procedures.
extremely high velocity.
The fleet is
How
ready.
high?
A tactical
Higher than safety
advantage.
regulations allow.
Indeed.
Much higher.
We prepare
Every
for
species in the
departure.
Galactic Cooperative followed strict
Understood.
rules about
Engaging the
fold
target
space
now.
travel. Enter too fast and the stresses could
We've
tear
got
a ship
them
apart.
outflanked.
Exit too close to a gravity
Hold
well and you
position.
risked catastrophic collision.
Look at the energy
The math
readings
was
down
well
there.
understood, and the safety margins were generous.
It's unprecedented.
Could be a cooperative
but something
fleet,
feels off.
Veltara mused. Maybe
The
they're
fleet
pushing their
approaches
engines to
the
reach us faster.
destination.
But even as she said it, she didn't quite
Prepare for
believe it.
docking procedures.
Cooperative commanders were careful,
The fleet is
methodical.
ready.
They followed procedures and
tactical advantage.
protocols.
Indeed.
None of them would risk
We
their
prepare
ships
for
and crews
departure.
with reckless fold space
Understood.
maneuvers.
Engaging the target
On the Bone
now.
Crusher, Theknosh received similar sensor
We've got
reports from
them
his science
outflanked.
officer. The Drakmor had detected the fold
position.
space anomalies hours
Look at
ago,
the energy
but dismissed
readings
them
down
as
there.
irrelevant. Probably stellar activity,
It's unprecedented.
the science officer
but something
suggested.
feels off.
Or perhaps debris from
fleet
battles
approaches
in
the
adjacent systems.
destination.
How long until the station's shields fail?
Prepare for docking procedures.
32 hours at current bombardment rate.
The fleet is ready.
Continue the attack.
A tactical
Ignore the
advantage.
sensor ghosts.
Indeed.
It was a decision
prepare
that would
for
haunt
departure.
Theknosh for the rest of his very short
Understood.
remaining life.
Engaging the
Deep in
target now.
Kepler, station's civilian sections, Managing Director
We've got them
Hunpa
outflanked.
coordinated evacuation efforts. His people,
Hold position.
mostly office workers and their
Look at the
families,
energy readings
helped
down
load
there.
emergency supplies and organize shelter assignments.
It's
It
unprecedented.
was busy work,
but
keeping
something
minds
feels
occupied
off.
while death circled overhead.
The fleet approaches the
Director
destination.
called one of his assistants. The
Prepare for
children want to
docking
know if help is
procedures.
coming. Hunpa looked
The
at the
fleet
sea
is
of young
ready.
faces around him.
A tactical
Dozens of
advantage.
species,
Indeed.
all looking to him for
We
answers he
prepare
didn't
for
have.
departure.
The Galactic
Understood.
Cooperative was vast and
Engaging
powerful,
the target
but
now.
space was vaster. Help might be
We've got them
coming, but it wouldn't
outflanked.
arrive in time. Yes, he
Hold
said finally.
position.
Help is coming.
Look at the energy readings
Another
down
lie.
there.
But sometimes lies were kinder than truth.
It's unprecedented.
Back in the command center,
but
the sensor
something
readings
feels
were
off.
getting stronger. Whatever was causing the
fleet
fold space
approaches the
distortions was moving
destination.
fast, heading directly toward their system.
Prepare for
Too
docking
fast for
procedures.
safety, too fast for sanity.
The fleet is ready.
Time to arrival?
A tactical
Beltara
advantage.
asked.
Indeed.
Yulton worked at her
We
calculations.
prepare for departure.
If these readings are accurate,
Understood.
and if it's actually a
Engaging
ship,
the target now.
14 hours. 14 hours.
We've got
The
them
station's
outflanked.
shields would fail in 32. If help was
Hold
coming, it would
position.
arrive to find wreckage and
Look at
corpses
the
floating in
energy readings
space.
down there.
Send a message, Velterra ordered.
It's unprecedented.
All
but
frequencies,
something feels
maximum
off.
power. Tell whoever's coming that
The
they're
fleet
flying into a
approaches
war
the
zone.
destination.
47 Drakmor ships fully, armed and
Prepare for
hostile.
docking procedures.
The message burst from Kepler Station's transmitters
is
racing
ready.
across space at light
A
speed.
tactical advantage.
But the approaching ship,
Indeed.
if it was a
We
ship,
prepare for
was still
departure.
in fold space, isolated
Understood.
from normal
Engaging
communications.
the target now.
The warning would arrive too late to do any good. As
We've
the
got
station's
them
second day
outflanked.
under siege began, the bombardment
position.
intensified.
Look
The
at
Drakmor
energy
had grown
readings down
impatient
there.
with their slow progress. More ships
It's
joined the attack,
unprecedented,
focusing
but
their
something
fire
feels
on
off.
key shield generators.
The fleet
In engineering,
approaches the
alarms screamed as
destination.
systems failed one by one. Korthak and
Prepare
his
for
team raced to
docking
repair what they
procedures.
could, but they were fighting a losing battle.
The fleet is
The
ready.
station was dying around them,
A tactical
one
advantage.
circuit at a time.
Indeed. prepare
Korthak!
for departure.
Silvera shouted over the noise.
Understood.
The main shield generator
Engaging
is
the target
overloading.
now.
Shut it down. Switch to
We've got them
backup power.
outflanked.
Backup is already at maximum.
Hold position.
The shields flickered and
Look at the
dimmed.
energy readings down
For
there.
a moment, the station was completely defenseless.
It's
Then the backup
unprecedented,
systems engaged,
But something feels off.
but they were weaker, much weaker.
The fleet
On his
approaches
flagship,
the
Teknosh
destination.
smiled as he watched the enemy shields falter.
Prepare for docking
Increase
procedures.
bombardment rate. Target their power stations.
The fleet is
I want
ready.
this finished within 18
A
hours.
tactical advantage.
The Drakmor
Indeed.
ships obeyed,
We
their
prepare
weapons
for
glowing
departure.
brighter, as they poured destruction
Understood.
into Kepler Station.
Engaging the target
end was
now.
approaching fast. But in the void beyond, something
got them
else was approaching
outflanked.
faster. Captain Elena
position.
Vasquez gripped her command chair as
Look
the
at the energy
TFS
readings
Retribution
down there.
screamed through fold space at velocities that would have
It's
terrified any
unprecedented,
sane
but
commander.
Something feels off.
The ship groaned around her,
The fleet
metal and
approaches
composites
the
stressed
destination.
beyond their design limits. Red
Prepare
warning
for
lights
docking
bathed the bridge in
procedures.
hellish light. Captain,
The fleet
called her
is
first
ready.
officer, Commander
A
Jackson Hayes.
tactical advantage.
We're pushing the
Indeed.
engines at
We prepare
130%
for
capacity.
departure.
Any higher and we risk
Understood.
catastrophic failure.
Engaging the target
Noted,
now.
Elena replied, her dark eyes
We've
fixed
got
on the
them
tactical
outflanked.
display. Athena, time to
position.
emergence. The ship's
Look at the
artificial
energy
intelligence
readings down
responded
there.
immediately, her synthetic voice calm despite
It's
the chaos.
unprecedented,
4 hours,
but something
23 minutes
feels
to
off.
combat emergence, Captain. Current probability of
approaches
successful
the
fold space exit,
destination.
27%.
Prepare for
Elena
docking
nodded.
procedures.
27% wasn't great odds,
The fleet is
but it was
ready.
better than the odds
A
facing Kepler
tactical
Station.
advantage.
She'd read the
Indeed.
distress signal,
We prepare
seen the
for
tactical
departure.
analysis.
Understood.
47 Drakmor warships
Engaging the
against a
target
mining
now.
station. It would be a massacre unless someone intervened.
We've got them
The
outflanked.
Terran Defense Force had protocols for situations
Hold
like this.
position.
Contact High
Look at the
Command,
energy readings
request
down
orders, assemble a proper fleet response,
It's unprecedented,
follow the chain of
but
command,
something feels
do
off.
Elena
fleet
had thrown the
approaches
book
the
out the airlock
destination.
6 days ago. Chief Torres,
Prepare for docking
she called to her
procedures.
engineering officer. How are
The
our
fleet is
systems
ready.
holding up? Chief Petty
A
Officer
tactical
Maria Torres
advantage.
looked up from her
Indeed.
console, her weathered face
We
grim.
prepare for departure.
Fusion reactors are running hot but
Understood.
stable.
Engaging
Inertial
the
dampeners
target
are at
now.
maximum, but we're still pulling 8 Gs. Life
got
support
them
is
outflanked.
creative. We're recycling
Hold position.
everything, including the
Look at
coffee.
the energy readings
A
down
few
there.
chuckles echoed around the bridge. Trust a human crew to joke
unprecedented,
about death
but
while
something
racing
feels
toward
off.
impossible odds. Elena had
fleet
commanded the
approaches the
Retribution for 3
destination.
years. She knew every bolt and wire in the ship,
Prepare for
knew
docking
her crew like
procedures.
family. They were good people,
The
all
fleet is
volunteers
ready.
who'd signed up to
A
protect others.
tactical advantage.
When they'd intercepted
Indeed.
Kepler Station's
We
distress
prepare for
call,
departure.
the vote had been unanimous.
Understood.
Go help.
Engaging the target
The
now.
fact that they'd be violating direct orders didn't
We've
matter.
got them outflanked.
The fact that they'd probably die didn't matter.
Hold position.
40,000 civilians
Look at
were
the
about to
energy
be
readings
slaughtered,
down there.
and the Retribution was the only ship close enough
It's
to help.
unprecedented, but
Captain,
something feels off.
Hayes said quietly. We could still
The
turn
fleet
back.
approaches the
Send the distress
destination.
signal to High Command, let them handle it.
Prepare
Elena
for
looked at
docking
him.
procedures.
Hayes was a good officer, played everything
fleet
by
is ready.
regulations,
A
but he'd
tactical
also voted to
advantage.
proceed with the rescue
Indeed.
mission.
We prepare
You
for
know those
departure.
people will be dead before any official
Understood.
response arrives.
Engaging
She
the
said.
target now.
Yes, ma'am. But we're one ship against
We've got them
47.
outflanked.
The math isn't in our favor.
Hold position.
Since when do humans care about
Look
math?
at the energy readings
It
down
was an
there.
old joke in the Terran Defense Force. Other species
It's
calculated
unprecedented,
odds,
but
analyzed
something feels
probabilities,
off.
made logical decisions based on
The fleet
available data.
approaches the
Humans looked at
destination.
impossible situations and asked, yeah, but
Prepare
what if
for
we try
docking
anyway?
procedures.
Dr. Sarah Kim, the ship's
The
medical
fleet is
officer,
ready.
spoke from her station near
tactical
the back of the
advantage.
bridge.
Indeed.
Captain,
We prepare for
I
departure.
should mention that prolonged exposure to
Understood.
these G-forces
Engaging
could
the
cause
target
brain
now.
hemorrhages, organ failure, and structural damage to
We've got
skeletal
them
systems.
outflanked.
Noted, Doc. How long can we maintain current
position.
acceleration? Medically
the energy
speaking,
readings down
we
there.
passed the safe limit 4 days ago. Dr. Kim
It's
shrugged.
unprecedented,
But humans
something
have
feels
survived
off.
worse. Probably. The
The
bridge
fleet
shook as another
approaches the
fold space
destination.
fluctuation rippled through the ship's structure.
Prepare for docking procedures.
Outside the reinforced windows, twisted space-time
fleet is
created
ready.
impossible colors and
A
shapes.
tactical advantage.
Most species
Indeed.
found fold space
prepare
terrifying.
for departure.
Humans had learned to navigate it the way their
Understood.
ancestors had sailed
Engaging the
Earth's
target
oceans,
now.
with skill, courage, and a healthy disrespect for
them
the dangers
outflanked.
involved. Athena,
Hold position.
Elena called.
Look
Run
at the
final
energy
combat
readings down there.
calculations. Assume we emerge at current
It's
velocity.
unprecedented.
Calculating,
but something
Captain.
feels off.
A pause. Warning.
fleet approaches
Emergence
the
at current
destination.
speed violates all established tactical doctrines.
Prepare for docking
Recommended
procedures.
procedure is to reduce velocity to
The
0.05 C before
tactical
engaging enemy
advantage.
forces.
Indeed.
We don't have time
We
for
prepare for
recommended
departure.
procedures. Understood.
Understood.
Computing
Engaging the
alternative
target
attack
now.
vectors. Another pause. Captain,
We've
I
got
should
them
note that our
outflanked.
approach violates the fundamental principles of space
Hold
warfare
position.
as understood by all known
Look at the
species.
energy readings
Good.
down there.
That means they won't see it coming.
It's
The Retribution was a heavy
but
cruiser
something feels
designed for
off.
long-range patrol and system defense.
The fleet
She
approaches
carried a
the
crew of
destination.
800, armed with particle beam cannons,
Prepare
mass
for docking
drivers,
procedures.
and enough nuclear warheads
The
to
fleet
crack a
is
small
ready.
moon.
A tactical
Against
advantage.
47 enemy ships, she
Indeed.
was outgunned and
We prepare
outnumbered.
for departure.
But she had advantages no
Understood.
alien commander would
Engaging
understand.
the target now.
Human ships were built differently from those of other species.
We've got them outflanked.
We're aliens designed for efficiency and elegance,
position.
humans designed for
Look at the
survival.
energy readings down
Every
there.
system had backups. Every critical component
It's
was redundant.
unprecedented, but something
Damage that
feels
would
off.
cripple other vessels might just make a
The
human ship
fleet
angry.
approaches the destination.
Human tactics were different, too.
Prepare
Other
for
species
docking
fought at long
procedures.
range, maneuvering carefully to
The
avoid
fleet
damage.
is ready.
Humans closed to
tactical
knife-fighting
advantage.
distance and slugged it
Indeed.
out until one side
We
was
prepare
scrap
for
metal.
departure.
It wasn't pretty, but it worked.
Understood.
Engaging
Lieutenant
the target
Morrison,
now.
Elena called to, her weapons officer. Status
got
on the
them
mass
outflanked.
drivers? Loaded and ready, Captain.
Hold
We've got
position.
depleted uranium slugs in
Look at
tubes
the
1
energy
through 8,
readings down there.
high explosive in 9 through 12. Set them for
It's
maximum
unprecedented,
velocity.
but something
I want
feels
those slugs
off.
moving at significant fractions of light
The
speed.
fleet approaches the
Aye,
destination.
Captain. But ma'am, firing
Prepare
at those
for docking
velocities
procedures.
while we're moving this fast, the targeting
fleet is
computers
ready.
will have microseconds
A
to
tactical
calculate
advantage.
firing solutions.
Indeed.
Elena smiled
We
grimly.
prepare for departure.
Then we'd better not miss.
Understood.
The ship's
Engaging
intercom
the
crackled to
target
life.
now.
All hands, this is the captain. We're
We've
about
got
to
them
drop out of
outflanked.
fold space directly into a combat zone.
Hold
47
position.
hostile ships,
Look at
unknown
the
defensive
energy readings
capabilities.
down there.
Our job is simple. Protect Kepler
It's
Station and its
unprecedented,
40,000
but
civilians.
something feels
She
off.
paused, looking around the bridge at faces
The
she'd
fleet
known for years.
approaches the destination.
Good people. Brave people.
Prepare
People
for
who'd
docking
volunteered for what
procedures.
amounted to a suicide mission.
The fleet
I
is
won't
ready.
lie to
A
you,
tactical
she
advantage.
continued.
Indeed.
The odds aren't good.
prepare for
We're
departure.
outnumbered, outgunned,
Understood.
and flying into a situation
Engaging
that would
the
make any
target
rational
now.
species turn around and go home. But
We've
we're
got
not any
them
rational
outflanked.
species. We're humans.
Hold position.
And humans don't abandon
Look at the energy
people in need.
readings down there.
Through the ship, 800 crew members listened to their
It's
captain's words.
unprecedented, but
In
something
engineering,
feels
they
off.
pushed the fusion reactors beyond
The
safe
fleet
limits.
approaches the
In weapons
destination.
control, they loaded the mass drivers with rounds
Prepare
that
for
could punch
docking
through
procedures.
battleship, armor. In medical,
The
they
fleet is
prepared for
ready.
casualties.
A tactical
None of them
advantage.
questioned the mission.
Indeed.
None of them
We
suggested
prepare for
retreat.
departure.
They were Terran Defense Force,
Understood.
and their motto was simple.
Engaging the target
We leave
now.
no one behind. Athena, Elena
got
said,
them outflanked.
begin emergence sequence. Captain,
position.
I feel compelled to remind you that
Look
our
at the
survival
energy
probability
readings down
remains
there.
at 23%. What's
It's
the
unprecedented,
survival probability
but
for
something
Kepler
feels
Station if we
off.
don't intervene?
The
0%.
fleet approaches the
Then
destination.
23% is infinitely better. Begin
Prepare
emergence.
for docking procedures.
The fold space tunnel around them began to
fleet is
collapse
ready.
as the Retribution prepared to
tactical
return to normal
advantage.
space.
Indeed.
Through the shifting
We prepare
colors of
for
higher
departure.
dimensions, Elena could see the
Understood.
faint glow of distant
Engaging the
stars.
target now.
Somewhere ahead waited Kepler Station and 40,000
We've got them
people who
outflanked.
didn't know help was coming.
Hold position.
Emergence in 30 seconds.
Look at the energy
Athena
readings down
announced.
there.
All systems report ready. Weapons charged,
It's
shields at maximum,
unprecedented,
damage
but
control
something
team
feels
standing
off.
by. Elena leaned
The
forward in her
fleet
chair.
approaches the destination.
Remember, people, we're not here to win a glorious victory.
Prepare for docking
We're
procedures.
here to buy time for those civilians.
The fleet
Every
is
second we
ready.
keep the enemy busy is
A
another
tactical
second for them to
advantage.
live.
Indeed.
10 seconds to
We prepare
emergence.
for departure.
The ship shuddered as fold
Understood.
space began to release its
Engaging
grip.
the target now.
5 seconds. Elena's hands tightened
We've
on
got them
her chair
outflanked.
arms. Emergence in 3,
Hold
2,
position.
1. The retribution burst back into normal space-time like a bullet from a gun. She was traveling at nearly 15% the speed of light, moving faster than any warship in galactic history had ever moved while engaging enemy forces. On Kepler station, Yulton's sensors screamed as they detected the impossible. A ship, emerging from fold space at combat velocity, heading directly toward the Drakmor fleet. "Commander," she shouted. "I'm reading a massive fold space emergence. Single ship unknown configuration, velocity." She paused, checking her readings twice. Velocity 0.15 C and climbing. Commander Veltara stared at the tactical display. No ship could maintain structural integrity at those speeds. It was physically impossible, unless the ship was human. "What's their heading?" "Direct intercept with the Drakmor flagship. Time to contact." Yulton's voice dropped to a whisper.
Indeed.
18 minutes.
Prepare for departure.
18 minutes until a single human warship collided with an entire enemy fleet. It would be the shortest space battle in galactic history, or the most spectacular.
Hold position.
War Admiral Teknosh stared at his tactical display in disbelief. A single ship was racing toward his fleet at impossible speeds, its fusion engines blazing like a small star. The vessel's energy signature was unlike anything in his databases.
Prepare for
"Science.
docking procedures.
Officer," he barked. "What am I looking at?"
The fleet is ready.
"Unknown vessel, Admiral. Configuration suggests Terran
Indeed.
origin,
We
but no
prepare for
Terran ship has
departure.
ever operated at such velocities. Current
Engaging
speed
the
is
target now.
beyond safe operational parameters."
We've got them
Teknosh's
outflanked.
yellow eyes narrowed. He'd heard stories about the
position.
humans, the newest
Look at the
members
energy
of the
readings down
Galactic
there.
Cooperative. Primitive warriors from a backward world,
unprecedented,
according to most
but
reports.
something feels
Their
off.
ships were crude, their tactics unrefined.
Approaches
They posed no threat to a properly organized Drakmor fleet.
Prepare for
How
docking
long until
procedures.
intercept? 15 minutes,
The
Admiral.
fleet is ready.
Dispatch the Bloodfang and
tactical
Skullcrusher to
advantage.
deal with it.
Indeed.
2 destroyers should
We
be
prepare
sufficient
for
for one
departure.
small ship. It was the last
Understood.
mistake Teknosh would ever
Engaging the
make.
target now.
On the Retribution, Captain Elena
We've got
Vasquez
them
watched the 2
outflanked.
Drakmor destroyers break formation
Hold
and
position.
accelerate toward her ship.
Look at the
They
energy
moved with the
readings down
confidence
there.
of predators who'd never encountered anything they couldn't kill.
unprecedented,
"Captain,"
but something
Commander
feels
Hayes
off.
reported, "enemy destroyers approaching.
fleet approaches
Range 4
the
million kilometers and
destination.
closing. Their weapons?
Prepare
Standard
for docking
Drakmor
procedures.
loadout. Plasma cannons, photon
The fleet is
torpedoes,
ready.
particle beams. Effective
tactical
range
advantage.
approximately 50,000
Indeed.
kilometers.
We prepare for
Elena
departure.
smiled coldly.
Understood.
"And our effective
Engaging
range?
the target
Mass.
now.
Drivers can engage at current distance, ma'am.
We've got
Particle
them
beams
outflanked.
effective at 200,000 kilometers.
Hold position.
Then we outrange them by a considerable
Look at the
margin."
energy readings down
She
there.
keyed the ship-wide intercom. "All hands stand by
It's
for combat
unprecedented,
acceleration.
but something
This is going to
feels
get
off.
rough." The Retribution
fleet
didn't slow
approaches the
down.
destination.
Instead, she increased speed, her fusion engines
for
pushing her
docking
toward the enemy
procedures.
at velocities that defied common
The
sense.
fleet is ready.
Her mass drivers
A tactical
swiveled
advantage.
toward the approaching
Indeed.
destroyers, targeting
We prepare
computers
for departure.
calculating firing solutions at impossible
Understood.
speeds.
Engaging the
"Firing
target
solution
now.
locked," reported Lieutenant Morrison from Weapons Control.
We've got them
"Fire."
outflanked.
8 depleted uranium
Hold
slugs,
position.
launched from the Retribution's
energy
mass
readings
drivers,
down there.
accelerated to significant fractions of light speed by
It's
magnetic
unprecedented,
coils.
but
The
something
slugs were
feels
each the
off.
size of a telephone pole and moving fast
fleet
enough to penetrate
approaches
any
the
known armor.
destination.
The first Drakmor destroyer,
Prepare for docking
Bloodfang,
procedures.
had 3 seconds to register the incoming
fleet is
projectiles before
ready.
they arrived.
A tactical
The ship's
advantage.
commander didn't
Indeed.
even have time to order
We
evasive
prepare for
maneuvers.
departure.
4 slugs punched through his
Understood.
vessel's shields like they
Engaging
weren't
the
there,
target now.
tearing through armor plating, bulkheads, and vital
We've
systems.
got them outflanked.
Bloodfang exploded in a ball of superheated
position.
plasma, its reactor
the energy
containment
readings
failing
down there.
catastrophically. The explosion was visible from Kepler
It's
Station,
unprecedented,
a brief
but
news star
something
that
feels
flared
off.
and died in the space between worlds.
The fleet
The
approaches
second
the
destroyer,
destination.
Skullcrusher, managed to alter course
Prepare
slightly.
for docking procedures.
3 of the remaining 4 slugs missed,
The fleet
but
is
the 4th
ready.
struck the
A
ship's
tactical
port side,
advantage.
shearing off
Indeed.
weapon nacelles and life
We
support
prepare for
systems.
departure.
The destroyer tumbled
Understood.
helplessly,
Engaging
atmosphere
the
venting
target
from
now.
dozens of hull breaches. 2 destroyers neutralized.
got them outflanked.
Morrison reported with professional calm. Time to main
position.
fleet 11 minutes.
Look at the
Elena
energy
nodded.
readings down there.
Athena, begin combat approach pattern
It's
Delta 7.
unprecedented, but something
Captain,
feels
the
off.
AI replied. Pattern Delta
The
7
fleet
has never been
approaches
attempted
the
at current
destination.
velocities. The G-forces involved may
Prepare
exceed
for
human
docking
tolerance.
procedures.
Then, we'd better
fleet
hold
is
on
ready.
tight. The Retribution
tactical
began a
advantage.
series of wild
Indeed.
maneuvers that would have torn apart
We
any
prepare
other
for
ship.
departure.
She rolled, dove, and spiraled
Understood.
through space like a
Engaging
fighter
the
craft
target
instead of a
now.
heavy cruiser. Her inertial dampeners screamed
We've
in
got them
protest,
outflanked.
but they held. On Kepler Station,
position.
Commander Veltara watched
Look
the
at the
impossible
energy
display.
readings down there.
How fast is that ship? Moving.
It's
Still
unprecedented,
accelerating.
but something
Yulton
feels
reported,
off.
her voice filled with awe.
The fleet
They're up to
approaches the
0.17 now.
destination.
And they're
Prepare
They're
for
dancing
docking
through space.
procedures.
I've never seen anything like it.
The fleet
The
is
human
ready.
ship moved like something
A
alive,
tactical advantage.
weaving between space
Indeed.
debris and asteroids
We
with
prepare
fluid
for
grace.
departure.
Its course corrections were so rapid and
Engaging
precise
the
that tracking
target now.
systems struggled to follow. War Admiral
got them
Theknosh felt the
outflanked.
first touch of fear as he watched his
Hold
destroyers
position.
die.
Look at the
All
energy
ships form
readings
defensive
down
sphere
there.
formation. Concentrate fire on the human vessel
It's
when it enters range.
unprecedented, but something
Admiral,
feels off.
his tactical officer said.
The
The
fleet
human ship will
approaches
arrive
the
in 8 minutes.
destination.
But sir, they're not
Prepare
slowing
for
down. They
docking
have to slow
procedures.
down. No ship can engage in combat
The
at
fleet
those
is ready.
speeds.
A
But the
tactical
Retribution had no
advantage.
intention of
Indeed.
slowing down.
We prepare for
Captain
departure.
Vasquez was attempting something no sane
Understood.
commander would try.
Engaging the target
A
now.
high-speed attack run through the heart of the enemy formation.
We've got them outflanked.
Range to target 500,000
Hold
kilometers,
position.
Morrison announced.
Look at the
Particle
energy
beams coming
readings down
online.
there.
The Retribution's main weapons were particle beam
It's
cannons,
unprecedented,
designed to
but
strip
something
electrons
feels
from
off.
atoms and fire the resulting plasma
fleet
at near light
approaches the
speed. At
destination.
close range, they could melt through battleship armor.
Prepare
At
for
the
docking
speed the human ship was
procedures.
traveling, they became something close to death
Fleet
rays.
is ready.
Target the
A
enemy
tactical
flagship,
advantage.
Elena ordered.
Indeed.
All weapons,
We
continuous
prepare for
fire.
departure.
The Retribution
Understood.
opened up with everything she
Engaging the
had.
target now.
Particle beams lanced out from her weapon batteries, striking
We've got them
Drakmor ships with
outflanked.
surgical precision. Mass
Hold
driver
position.
slugs followed, punching
Look at the
through
energy
shields and
readings
armor
down
like
there.
bullets through paper. Nuclear warheads detonated in
unprecedented,
perfect
but something
formation,
feels off.
each explosion timed to maximum
The
effect.
fleet
The
approaches
Drakmor fleet
destination.
returned fire, but their weapons couldn't track a target
Prepare
moving at
for docking
17% of light
procedures.
speed. Plasma bolts and photon
The fleet is
torpedoes
ready.
chased the human ship through space,
tactical
always
advantage.
arriving where she'd been
Indeed.
instead of where she was.
We prepare for departure.
Direct hit on enemy cruiser
Understood.
Bone Grinder,
Engaging
Morrison
the target
reported.
now.
She's breaking up. Another hit on
We've
the
got them
battleship.
outflanked.
Death's Edge. Her shields are down.
Hold position.
Elena felt the ship shudder as a
Look at the
Drakmor
energy
plasma bolt
readings
scored a
down there.
glancing hit. Damage report.
It's unprecedented.
Minor hull damage
but
on deck
something
7,
feels off.
came the reply from Chief Torres.
The fleet approaches
Armor
the
held.
destination.
We're still at full combat effectiveness.
Prepare for docking
Retribution dove
procedures.
through the Drakmor formation like an avenging
The fleet
angel,
is ready.
her weapons blazing.
A tactical
She was
advantage.
too fast to target
Indeed.
effectively,
We
too
prepare for
maneuverable to
departure.
trap, and too well armored to stop.
Understood.
Engaging
Every
the
second of her
target
attack
now.
run left another enemy ship damaged or destroyed.
We've got them
My
outflanked.
God, whispered Commander Hayes,
position.
watching the tactical display.
Look at the energy readings down
We're
there.
actually doing it. But Captain Vasquez
It's
knew better.
unprecedented,
They were
but
buying
something
time,
feels
nothing
off.
more. The Retribution was
The
tough,
fleet
but she wasn't
approaches the
invincible.
destination.
Eventually, the Drakmor would land enough hits to slow her
Prepare for
down.
docking
When that
procedures.
happened, 47 ships would focus their
The
fire
fleet
on
is
one
ready.
target.
A tactical
Athena,
advantage.
she called.
Indeed.
How much longer can we
prepare
maintain
for
this attack
departure.
pattern? Unknown,
Understood.
Captain. We
Engaging
are
the target
operating
now.
beyond all established parameters. An explosion
them
rocked the ship
outflanked.
as a photon torpedo found its mark.
Hold position.
Warning lights flashed as systems
Look at the
failed
energy
throughout the
readings
vessel.
down there.
Direct hit starboard side. Torres
It's
reported.
unprecedented,
We've
but
lost
something
mass driver
feels
4
off.
and particle beam battery 2.
The fleet
Hull breaches on
approaches
decks
the
9 through 11. The Retribution was bleeding
Prepare
atmosphere
for
and
docking
energy,
procedures.
but she kept fighting. Her remaining weapons
fleet is
continued
ready.
their deadly work,
A tactical
carving through the
advantage.
enemy formation like a
Indeed.
sword through silk.
We prepare for departure.
On his flagship,
Understood.
Theknosh watched his
Engaging the
fleet die
target
around
now.
him. Ships that had conquered dozens
got
of
them
worlds were
outflanked.
exploding like toys. The human vessel
Hold
moved
position.
through his formations like a force
Look
of
at the
nature,
energy readings down
unstoppable and terrifying. All ships, he
It's
broadcast on the
unprecedented,
fleet frequency.
but something feels
Concentrate
off.
fire on the human ship.
The
Everything
fleet
we
approaches
have.
the destination.
43 surviving Drakmor warships
Prepare
turned their
for
weapons
docking
toward the
procedures.
Retribution. Space filled with
The fleet
energy
is
beams,
ready.
plasma
A
bolts,
tactical
and
advantage.
photon
Indeed.
torpedoes, all
We
aimed
prepare
at
for
one small
departure.
human cruiser racing through their midst.
Understood.
Incoming
Engaging the
fire,
target now.
Hayes announced unnecessarily. Everyone could see
We've
the
got
light
them
show
outflanked.
converging on their position. Evasive maneuvers,
Hold position.
Elena ordered.
Look
All
at the
available
energy
power to
readings
shields.
down there.
The Retribution twisted through space,
unprecedented,
dodging what she
but
could
something
and
feels
absorbing
off.
what she couldn't. Her shields
The fleet
flared and
approaches
sparked as
the
enemy
destination.
fire found its mark. Armor plates glowed
Prepare
white
for
hot
docking
under the
procedures.
concentrated bombardment.
The
Shields
fleet is
down to
ready.
30%, Torres called
tactical
out.
advantage.
We can't take much
Indeed.
more of this.
We prepare for
Elena
departure.
gripped her command chair as another explosion
Understood.
shook the ship.
Engaging the target
Around her,
now.
bridge stations sparked and went dark.
We've got
The
them
smell of
outflanked.
burning electronics filled the
Hold
air.
position.
They were one ship against
Look at the
43.
energy readings
The
down
math was
there.
finally catching up with them. But they'd bought Kepler
It's
Station precious
unprecedented,
time.
but something
Every
feels
second the
off.
Drakmor spent fighting the Retribution was
The
another
fleet
second the
approaches
civilians
the
lived.
destination.
All weapons, Elena ordered.
Prepare for
Continuous
docking
fire until the
procedures.
barrels melt. Show these
The fleet
bastards
is
what
ready.
humans do when cornered.
A tactical
The
advantage.
Retribution screamed
Indeed.
through space,
We prepare
her
for
engines
departure.
howling like something from the depths of hell
Understood.
itself. She was dying, but she was taking the enemy with her, one ship at a time. The retribution carved through the heart of the Drakmor fleet like a meteor of death and fire. Her hull glowed white-hot from accumulated hits, atmosphere venting from dozens of breaches. But her weapons never stopped firing. "Captain, Chief," Torres called from her station. "Fusion Reactor 3 is offline. We're running on backup power." Captain Elena Vasquez felt blood trickling down her forehead from a head wound. The bridge was a chaos of sparking consoles and emergency lighting. Half her crew was injured, but they stayed at their posts. "How many enemy ships left?" she asked. 16. Lieutenant Morrison replied, his voice hoarse from smoke inhalation. "But Captain, we're not going to last much longer." Elena knew he was right. The retribution had been designed to survive, but no ship could take this kind of punishment forever. They destroyed or disabled 31 Drakmor vessels in 20 minutes of combat, a feat that would be talked about for generations. But physics was physics, and they were dying. "Athena," she called to the ship's AI. "Damage assessment. Catastrophic damage to hull sections 7 through 15. The synthetic voice replied, calm as always.
Look at the energy readings
73% of weapons. Systems offline. Life support failing on multiple decks. Estimate total structural failure in 6 minutes, 27 seconds. 6 minutes. Elena looked around the bridge at her crew. They were still fighting, still trying to protect people they'd never met. That was what made humans different from every other species in the galaxy. They didn't calculate odds when lives were at stake. "All remaining ships," came the voice of War Admiral Teknosh over the communication channels. "Destroy that vessel. I want every weapon firing until nothing remains but atoms." The surviving Drakmor warships closed in like vultures, their weapons glowing with deadly intent. The retribution was trapped in the center of a tightening circle, unable to escape. Too damaged to fight much longer, but Elena wasn't ready to give up. "Torres," she called, "how much power can you give me from the remaining reactors?" "Captain, if I push them any harder, they'll explode. That's the idea. Route everything, and I mean everything, to the main particle beam array. Life support, artificial gravity, inertial dampeners, everything." Torres stared at her. "Ma'am, that will kill us. We're dead anyway, but maybe we can take their flagship with us." Understanding dawned on the chief's weathered face. She nodded grimly and began rerouting power systems.
A tactical advantage.
"Aye, Captain. All power to main weapons." The retribution began to die around them. Life support failed, leaving them breathing recycled air. Artificial gravity cut out, leaving everyone floating in their restraints. The inertial dampeners went offline, meaning every movement of the ship would crush them with G-forces. But the main particle beam array blazed with power like a small Sundat on Kepler station. Commander Veltara watched the impossible battle through her sensors. The human ship was clearly dying, venting atmosphere and debris. But it wasn't retreating. It wasn't surrendering. It was gathering power for one final attack. "What are they doing?" she whispered. "I think," said Lieutenant Keshwa, his crystalline body flashing with amazement. "They're going to ram the enemy flagship." War Admiral Teknosh saw the human ship turning toward him, its remaining weapons charging for a final shot. His tactical officer was screaming damage reports, but Teknosh barely heard them. 31 ships of his fleet were gone. 31 ships destroyed by a single human vessel that should have been crushed in the first minutes of combat. How was this possible? "All weapons, fire on my command," he ordered. "When I give the word, hit that ship with everything we have." But before he could give the order, the retribution fired. The particle beam that lanced from her main array was the most powerful weapon discharge ever recorded in galactic history. Every erg of power from her fusion reactors, every joule of energy from her capacitor banks, focused into a single devastating blast. The beam struck the Drakmor flagship Bone Crusher at the moment Elena Vasquez whispered, "For Kepler Station." Teknosh's ship didn't just explode, it disintegrated. The particle beam cut through her shields, armor, and hull like they were made of tissue paper. The flagship's reactor core destabilized, creating a chain reaction that lit up the void like a newborn star. The explosion took out 3 more Drakmor ships that were too close to escape the blast. Suddenly, the mighty fleet that had terrorized Kepler Station was reduced to 12 damaged vessels, and 1 very dead War Admiral. The retribution tumbled through space, her engines dead, her hull cracked like an eggshell. But she'd done what she came to do. "Captain," Hayes called weakly, "the remaining Drakmor ships are retreating." Elena tried to smile, but her vision was going dark. The G-forces from their final maneuver had been crushing. She could taste blood in her mouth and feel her consciousness slipping away.
But
Good,
something feels off.
she managed to whisper. The
fleet
civilians,
approaches the destination.
are they safe? Yes, ma'am.
Prepare
Kepler
for
Station
docking
is secure.
procedures.
Elena Vasquez, captain of
fleet
the
is ready.
TFS Retribution,
A tactical
closed her
advantage.
eyes and let the
Indeed.
darkness take her.
We prepare for
The
departure.
rescue ships from Kepler Station found the
Understood.
human cruiser drifting in
Engaging the
space
target
12
now.
hours later. Her hull was a mass of twisted
We've got
metal
them
and composite
outflanked.
armor, barely recognizable as a
Hold
starship.
position.
Atmosphere
Look at the
leaked from
energy
hundreds of
readings down
breaches,
there.
and her fusion reactors had gone cold.
It's unprecedented.
Commander
but
Veltara
something
led the
feels
rescue
off.
operation personally. She'd
The
never
fleet approaches
seen
the
anything like the
destination.
Retribution, a ship designed for war in the
Prepare
most
for
brutal
docking
sense.
procedures.
Everything about her spoke of sacrifice,
fleet is
of
ready.
crews willing to die
A
to protect
tactical
others.
advantage.
Indeed.
How many survivors?
We prepare
She
for
asked Dr.
departure.
Silara as they moved through the human
Understood.
ship's corridors.
Engaging the target
537, the Aquari medic replied.
now. We've got them
263
outflanked.
dead, most killed during the
Hold
final attack
position.
run. They found
Look at the
Captain
energy
Vasquez in the
readings
ship's
down there.
medical bay, unconscious but alive.
It's
Dr.
unprecedented.
Sarah Kim, the
but
human
something
medical
feels
officer, was
off.
working frantically to keep her captain
The
breathing
fleet
with equipment
approaches
that
the
barely functioned.
destination.
She'll live, Dr.
Prepare
Kim
for
said
docking
when she
procedures.
saw Veltara. Severe concussion,
is
3
ready.
broken ribs, internal bleeding, but she's
tactical
tough.
advantage.
Humans are hard to
Indeed.
kill. Over
We
the
prepare
following
for
days, as
departure.
the Retribution's crew recovered in
Understood.
Kepler Station's medical
Engaging
facilities,
the target now.
the full scope of their sacrifice became clear.
We've got them
They'd
outflanked.
violated direct orders, traveled
Hold
6
position.
days at dangerous speeds,
Look at the
and
energy
fought
readings
impossible
down there.
odds to save people they'd never met.
It's
Why?
unprecedented. but
Veltara
something
asked
feels
Elena
off.
when the human captain was finally conscious.
The fleet approaches
Why
the
risk everything for
destination.
strangers? Elena looked at her with eyes that held
Prepare for
depths the
docking
alien
procedures.
commander couldn't fully understand.
The fleet is
Because they
ready.
needed help,
A
and
tactical
we were the
advantage.
only ones close
Indeed.
enough to provide it.
We prepare for departure.
But the odds
Understood.
didn't matter. When
Engaging
someone
the
calls for
target
help,
now.
you go. That's what humans do.
We've got them
3 days
outflanked.
later, the official Galactic Cooperative
Hold
Response
position.
Fleet arrived to find Kepler
Look at the
Station
energy
intact
readings down
and the
there.
Drakmor threat eliminated. Admiral
It's
Chen of the
unprecedented,
TDF Yamato
but
read
something
Captain
feels off.
Vasquez's report with a mixture of
The
pride and
fleet
exasperation.
approaches the destination.
Captain, he said during their private meeting,
Prepare
you
for
violated
docking
approximately
procedures.
47 different regulations in the course of
fleet
this
is
mission.
ready.
Yes,
A
sir.
tactical
You
advantage.
risked your ship and crew
Indeed.
on an unauthorized
We prepare
rescue
for
operation.
departure.
Yes, sir.
Understood.
And you engaged
Engaging the
a
target
superior
now.
enemy force with tactics that any reasonable commander would
We've
call
got them
suicidal.
outflanked.
Elena met his gaze steadily.
Hold position.
Yes, sir. Admiral
Look at
Chen
the
was
energy
quiet for a
readings
long
down
moment.
there.
Then he smiled. Outstanding
It's
work, Captain.
unprecedented,
The
but
Terran
something
Defense
feels
Force is
off.
recommending you for the Star of Valor.
The fleet
Your crew will
approaches the
receive commendations,
destination.
and the Retribution will be
Prepare
rebuilt
for
stronger
docking
than ever.
procedures.
But the real reward came
The fleet
later,
is ready.
when Elena visited the
A
civilian
tactical
sections of
advantage.
Kepler Station.
Indeed.
Thousands
We
of
prepare for
beings from
departure.
dozens of worlds came to see the human
Understood.
who'd saved them.
Engaging the target
Zephyrian
now.
children clicked songs in her honor.
We've got them
Fourthak
outflanked.
artisans created crystal sculptures depicting her
Hold
ship.
position.
Aquari poets
Look at the
composed
energy
epics about the
readings down
battle.
there.
A young Zephyrian larva,
It's
the same one who'd
unprecedented,
asked Dr.
but
Silara
something
about
feels
monsters,
off.
approached Elena with
The
something in
fleet
its tiny
approaches
hands.
The destination.
It was the stuffed animal from Earth, the toy
Prepare
some
for
human
docking
traitor
procedures.
had given years ago.
The fleet is ready.
Thank you, the child
A
chirped in
tactical
its musical
advantage.
voice,
Indeed.
offering Elena the
We
toy.
prepare for departure.
Elena knelt down and gently pushed the
Understood.
toy back toward the
Engaging
child.
the target now.
You keep it, she said. And remember,
We've got them
when you're in
outflanked.
trouble, when you need help, just call. Humans will
Hold
come.
position.
The child
Look at
looked
the
up at her
energy
with
readings
compound
down
eyes
there.
that reflected wonder and trust.
It's
Promise?
unprecedented.
Elena
but something
smiled,
feels
thinking
off.
of her crew, her
The
ship,
fleet approaches
and the long tradition of humans
destination.
who'd always answered the call for help, no matter the cost.
Prepare for docking
Promise.
procedures.
Word of the Battle of Kepler
The fleet is
Station spread
ready.
throughout the galaxy like
A tactical
wildfire.
advantage.
The story grew in
Indeed.
the telling.
We
One
prepare for
human ship
departure.
against an entire fleet.
Understood.
Impossible
Engaging
odds
the
overcome
target
through
now.
courage and sacrifice. Other species began to
got
understand
them
that humanity
outflanked.
brought something new to the Galactic
Hold
Cooperative.
position.
They brought hope.
Look at the energy readings
In the months
down
that
there.
followed, whenever distress calls echoed through
It's
space,
unprecedented.
the response was
but
always the
something
same.
feels off.
Human ships would
The fleet
come howling out of the
approaches
void,
destination.
their crews ready to face any danger to protect the
Prepare
innocent.
for docking procedures.
Because that's what humans did. They left
fleet
no
is
one
ready.
behind.